WFUZ-TV, Coastal Alabama, Northwest Florida, the People's Voice.
Welcome to the People's Voice podcast on WFUZ-TV. I'm Blair Castro, and I'm here with Thomas Jenkins. Today we have Mr. Robert Stuart here in the studio. He's running for Orange Beach City Council, Place 5, and he's going to talk a little bit about his qualifications, his experience, and why he's running. Mr. Stuart, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you both for having me.
So we'll start by asking, what motivated you to run for City Council?
For me, I think it's a natural progression from what I've been doing for over 30 years in the community. And my wife and I, we sold our business last year, and you know, the time was right. And I'm still young. I'm 65 and young. This is the time, and I look forward to serving.
Can you talk a little bit about what experience and background you have in government and some of the boards you've served on that make you a good qualified candidate to hold this position?
I guess I've served longest on the Orange Beach Planning Commission. I'm going in, I believe I went in 2000, so this is, 2005, so this is my 20th year. I've served most of that time as chairman. Then from there, I served a term on Baldwin County Board of Equalization, and I represented the southern part of the county. And that's where you go, or a taxpayer that wants to contest their property taxes, you have a hearing before a board, and if you show up with the adequate proof, you could get your property taxes reduced. And then from there, I ran for Baldwin County Board of Education. I won that race. I served there until Orange Beach split away, and I was first chairman of Orange Beach City Schools. But more importantly, probably the biggest thing I did for over 30 years, I coached rec, baseball, basketball, soccer, and you learn more about life with those little kids than you do with a lot of adults sometimes. So that kind of sums it up.
Given your background in coaching, did you play a part, or were you instrumental in helping the new sportsplex get built there in Orange Beach?
Yeah, actually. So sometimes it's just about being in the right place at the right time. At that time, Mayor Russo and the council, at that time our fields were behind where the current rec center is, about where the tennis courts are. Back to the north side of that, we had two fields and a batting cage, and then we had a little, like we used for softball. No, it was just the two fields. We had a softball field, baseball field. Two baseball fields and a softball field. There, I got it right. Two baseball, one softball. And at the same time, I started travel baseball in Orange Beach, and we had gone and played in some tournaments, and just talking with parents on the team, they thought, man, if we had this in Orange Beach, can you imagine? You had the beach to draw them, to keep them there. You had to. So I took some pictures to Mayor Russo, and he wanted some more info. Then a friend of mine, Craig Johnson, drew out, I believe it was 2 wagon wheels. Went back, and so that's how we started, was with 2 wagon wheels. And so again, it wasn't me, it was a lot of people involved with that. I just it was great to be along for the ride.
What would you like to see change in the City Council within Orange Beach, or that administrative office? What changes would you like to see, or what would you like to build upon, or do you think should stay the same? Well,
first of all, I know them all, they're all my friends, and I wish them all the best. But things have changed. Not that it has anything to do with anyone else. I just want to talk about what I foresee me doing. But coming in, this is a special time. It's a special time because of the growth that we've seen. Now, I've been through these growth spells. We had one of these. So if people understand the growth in Orange Beach, in the mid-'80s, the condos that were being built and the market was going, all of a sudden they came to a stop. You had the savings and loan collapse. You had Reagan changed capital gains, and so building stopped in the mid '80s. Well, then we get to the '90s, early '90s. By '94, we were rebuilt. We were overbuilt. We were saying the words overbuilt. 04, 05, 06. Traffic. There's a lot of similarities. And so going forward, we are where we are now, and so I think it's important you have people that understand the process. And through my planning commission experience, I know I'm the right guy for the job. I may not understand it. I've worked with the staff in the building department closely all these years, and we've got some wonderful people working for us, for the city of Orange Beach. I can't say that enough. But and then we can talk about the recreation part. What I'd like to see recreation-wise. And I know we're talking about we're going to AstroTurf our rec league fields but more access to parks, and maybe some of the land the city already owns. Maybe we can do something for the locals there. I've had suggestions of maybe have a food court night once a month or once a quarter or whatever. With all the restaurants that have closed, it may help us in the summertime. But I'm all about listening. I'm walking door to door and I'm listening, and people are giving me great ideas. But then we can go to schools. And so where we have been, so we created a school system in 90 days, right? So then the process began on getting the people in positions and getting the classrooms and everything in order. Well, now where we are, I believe we benchmark. We've got 4 years under our belt. We kind of know where our kids are grade-wise. This is our benchmark. Now, where are we going to take them for here? I've got things that I'd like to see in the schools, and so, but I'm versed in it. I served at the county level. I served at the city level. Okay, so let's talk about everything the city is involved in. I want to be in the middle of it. I want to work with people. I want to work with the mayor. I want to work with the council to make things happen.
Going back to the education aspect of the Orange Beach schools, something another candidate mentioned while they were here was that they would like to see more technical training and VOTEC sort of college alternative routes for people, because college isn't necessarily for everybody.
That's
How do you feel about those kind of programs?
I am 100% behind them, 100%, because you're absolutely right. It's proven. And all you have to do is watch the news to see that that's where the jobs are. People can, right out of high school with the proper training, or at least their training starts so that they can pick it up right after high school. And then within a year or two, they're already making $100,000 a year or $75,000 or whatever, and not having any loans or anything else. So I am 100%. And I say something else. So electives. So think about this. If we and there's electives out there, and it deals with the stock market, an investing class for 10th, 11th, 12th graders. I'm about kids learning things in school. They may not use algebra, trig every day, but guess what? They learn a little bit about the stock market, and it catches on. It doesn't matter whether they're a plumber, a waitress, a doctor. That's life-changing. Does it come with risk? Yeah, but you learn about risk. That's part of growing up.
One of the major issues that people have brought to my attention, especially in Gulf Shores, and that we talk about all the time, is the traffic, which goes hand in hand with the growth. Are there particular areas that you would like to address traffic-wise or congestion that you would like to see focused, and what might those areas be in Orange Beach?
Well, first thing I want to do is teach people how to zipper merge on Beach Express.
Amen.
Okay, that's the first thing we're going to get done.
She has a drone. We can help you with that.
Please, Mr. I will plan on working with ALDOT to please come out and paint some stripes on our road and a few signs that say zipper merge, because some of you may have been behind either a white Tahoe or a white 2500 truck. And I may get in that right lane from time to time. Y'all may want to cut all this out, but I slow them down and I make them zipper merge. That's what I do. And I've had a few fingers and everything else. But no,
It's the cost of doing the Lord's work.
Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. But okay, traffic. Well, again, so on traffic, I have to go back to, well, first, let me say this about traffic. Let me tell you what I know. And you may have already heard some of this, but there is going to be a roundabout. It's going to go back behind Big Fish, Big Team Tires, McDonald's, and it'll be a direct lane that'll open up into 161. That is being fast-tracked per the negotiations that the city had with the state on the toll bridge. Also, the state has agreed to do a study of Canal Road West. That would, we have, everybody knows the disasters we have with ingress and egress on Canal Road West. Water plays, the restaurant that has O'Choppers, and the Mexican restaurant, the pub that has the Mexican restaurant and O'Choppers. So all that area, the state is getting ready, they've already begun a study, and they're going to study the patterns. And what I've heard is at some point in time, when you go north on 161 and you take a left and go west on Canal Road, that's going to continue to be 161 until you get to the wharf, somewhere around the wharf. And then from there, going west, it'll actually turn into 180. That's what someone told me from the city. So hopefully that all works out. Now, the traffic study, if we can keep our traffic moving, it's when we stop and we start to queue. When we start queuing is a frustrating place to be, especially if you've been in your car for 6 or 7 hours with a bunch of toddlers. So we all get it. And now, what we have to do going forward is continue to work with ALDOT. The big fix for our traffic will be when we can finally open Powerline Road, the road closest to the wharf. We're somewhere around 5 or 6 years off from that, so we've got to do better with what we have. The bypass is going to take a lot of the traffic, a lot of the strain off the main intersection at 161 and Canal Road, trying to keep the traffic moving. With our new subdivision, with the subdivisions and comp plan and the way that you can I start over with that?
Of course.
The traffic can be complex because not only do we have to deal with traffic from people that live here, we have to deal with traffic people that drive in to work here. We deal with traffic from tourists that come here to stay here. We have traffic for support people, but we also have traffic from people that are actually going to check in on Perdita Key. That it's a closer route for them to get to their place in Perdita Key than it is if they go around Pensacola.
Yeah.
So we're dealing with a bunch of traffic.
It's a big bottleneck.
It is a big bottleneck. Mm-hmm. It sure is.
How much attention from ALDOT is given to just the timing of the signals? Because as a local driving around all the time, it seems like just a simple adjustment of timing island-wide would make a huge difference.
Well, they have traffic engineers. They do traffic studies. I'm not a traffic engineer, and and I have read the traffic studies.
Sure.
But I hear the same thing, and I've seen the city is trying to do the best they can with support staff. Now, is that the best way to handle it? I would assume that it is, and until I know anything different, then that's our only recourse. you have to be able to work with the state. You've got to be able to work with your own people, with the other council members and the mayor.
Sure.
And once we get all the information from the new traffic study for Canal Road, then I'll be able to tell you, this is going to be our plan moving forward. But until I have that information, I don't think anybody can tell you this is what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as I have that information, I'll work to have a solution to the problem.
Is there like an ETA on when that study might be completed and available for you guys to discuss?
So I spoke to staff about it probably within the last today's. So maybe it was either maybe Thursday or Friday of last week, and they said that it had begun. I don't know how far they've gone. I don't think very much, because this all came up, I think, as a result of the moratorium that's in place.
The moratorium for Orange Beach was 6 or 9 months, if I'm
9 months.
And we're
December 18th.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're probably like, it's already been that long. I feel like it just started.
No, December 18th. I checked that today just in case you asked me. I hit without.
So we've got until September, roughly, or August.
No,
yeah.
no. December 18th is when it ends.
Oh, when it ends. I was thinking it started December 18th.
No, it started. No, I'm sorry. I should have made myself clear. No. That government, I did not ask the start date. I just wanted to know the.
Yeah.
I said, but anyway, it ends December 18th. And I'll say this about the moratorium: if at the time that we get to December 18th, and the information that we need to know about sewer, traffic, by then our comp plan, we need to talk about the comp plan. But the comp plan, we hope, should be done late December. So we're going to have a whole lot of information late in the year. And so really and truly, like I said, until we can have all the information before us and have the group together. And again, when I say group together, this comp plan, there's going to be people, there'll be elected officials involved. There'll be planning staff involved. There'll be staff involved. There'll be community involved. So this is a chance for people that want to know how, when, and where things are built in Orange Beach. This will be an eye-opening experience.
In your 20 years there, how has the interplay between municipalities, Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, Foley, has it kind of waxed and waned over different terms? Yes, planning-wise, and just inter-municipality coordination in just infrastructure and overall development?
Well, that's a great question, and I don't think anyone's ever asked me that. So the first thing that popped in my mind is, I know there's probably a lot of times they check to see what we do, what our ordinance is, and we check from time to time maybe what they do, because so your zoning ordinance in zoning, that's a live document. It's a living, breathing document, know. So you have rules, you have it set. Well, then sometimes as time goes on, guess what? Sometimes some things always push the envelope. So what you do, the staff will come to planning commission. They'll say, "Hey, we may have an issue. We may need to look at this. Do we need to change this? Do we need to make it bigger, smaller? What do we need to do?"
Mm-hmm.
So we don't collaborate, I don't call them, they don't call us, but I feel pretty certain that they may look at, hey, how does Orange Beach handle this? And, how does Gulf Shores handle this? But we may also say, how does Fairhope handle this? How does Foley handle this? We don't necessarily just leave it at Gulf Shores.
One thing I think of is the wharf being right there on Canal, and then you come down Canal into Gulf Shores. One thing I think of is the truck event that they have every year, and they use the canal as the raceway. And so that's an example of like something that Orange Beach does that Gulf Shores, I guess, doesn't really have a say in, just like Orange Beach doesn't really have a say in Hangout Fest. Right. So is there any possibility, or is it heard of, to have any kind of
collaboration
between?
No, I mean, hey, I don't know those serving in Gulf Shores as well as I know the ones in Orange Beach.
Sure.
But I mean, again, I go back to coaching. I mean, for the first 15 years down here, we coached against Gulf Shores, so I know a lot of people at Gulf Shores, and you know, it's always been competitive against Orange Beach and Gulf Shores. But you know, when I was in high school in Fairhope, we were kind of Foley was who we wanted to competitive against, and so everybody's got somebody, you know. But no, I have no issue at all. I have no issue at all. My goal is will it help Orange Beach? Will it help the people of Orange Beach, the kids of Orange Beach? So if that's what we're talking about, I'm all in. I'm all in.
Well, especially when it comes to ingress egress of the island. I mean, it's all part of the same island, so it would you would hope and want for more. I would think intercommunication as far like even with ALDOT and traffic flow, and having like a committee of each municipality come together and say, okay, well, this is going to affect the entire traffic flow of the entire island from Fort Morgan to Bear Point and down to Perdido Key.
Sure, absolutely. And I tell you, I've been here when we had to evacuate on July 4th. Okay, hurricane. Okay, I was in rental management.
That sounds rough.
And it gets worse. It gets worse. So the storm came up. We had to evacuate. Well, then it does a loop. I don't know how many people came back.
Was that Ivan?
No, it wasn't. Ivan
No.
came across. Yeah, I went through Ivan at the police station. That was another story we could talk about. But we had to. So my thing is this today. See, that was actually there was a Tom Thumb next to my office then. That's how long ago it was. But if that happened today, with the current setup, I know the emergency people of the city of Orange Beach. I have all the confidence in the world of these people. I put my life in their hands. But the ones I worry about is maybe the 20 or 30,000 other ones here that don't feel that way. So, but I know they have a plan. I don't worry about that.
Yeah.
But it has to be thought about because it's real. It's not if, it's when.
Right.
And again, I've seen it. I've been there. I've lived it.
I had a resident ask me about that exact question, hurricane evacuation plans for Gulf Shores, and I couldn't really find much about it, but I did find the Baldwin County, like the countywide plan, and responded with that. And I assumed that the cities would, I still got to do more research on that, but would be following the Baldwin County evacuation plan. And specifically, I was thinking about Fort Morgan. That's what they were asking about, because that is such an area where you really got to struggle to get off in a situation like that. So it would be great to see the municipalities making their plans all aligned for the smoothest evacuations possible.
Well, I've been here. So I grew up in Fairhope. So Frederick was our storm then, but I even remember Camille, which Camille was more of a Mississippi storm too. But and I've been at the police station in Orange Beach, and so I've seen the devastation. We had, but I tell you what's amazing about it. We may seem to be a divided city, country, or whatever. But let a hurricane happen here. Let 9/11 happen here. Then you see what America's about. These are some of the things I've learned in planning, and I've gone to seminars over the years. Is you don't plan for your best days. You plan for your absolute worst days. And by that, you should plan on having to evacuate on July 4th. You should plan to have a plan for everything. Like I said, I feel very confident in our team in Orange Beach. I know how hard they work. I know they work with the county. I know Sheriff Lowry and his guys, they do an amazing job. And our guys and ladies are working with Gulf Shores guys and ladies. And again, when an event happens, we do come together. So yeah, it's a pretty cool place to live.
I think that is something that is I was in Pensacola during some of that stuff too, and I felt the same way. I was like, it's interesting how you kind of see the best in people in bad situations
Oh, yeah.
sometimes. And then when there's a great situation, you might see the worst of people. So,
Yeah,
how you act under that pressure really determines character. And I think it shows the character of this area that our residents always come together and work to make things better.
They do. They do. And, and again, I just want to be part of the process. I just want to do my part.
Can you tell us a little bit about your personal life when you moved here to Orange Beach and, raising your family here and how you guys have ingrained yourselves in the community?
Yeah, so when we first moved here, we actually rented a place, and we had our son, our first son. I'm embarrassed to say, my wife has to tell me how old he is, but I think he's around 36, right? But anyway, so we moved here, and then we built our first house. We built our first house in 1992. My oldest son, when he turned 4, he played t-ball, and so I went to the first t-ball practice and became coach. And 30-something years later, I'm coaching my grandkids a little bit now, and it's pretty cool. I get to coach kids of kids that I coach. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. What was you mentioned you guys had a business. What was your career like before you kind of got into being involved in government? What's your background there?
Yeah, so my dad contacted me it was the early 90s, and he had bought a little bankrupt rental management company down in Orange Beach. He called me and asked me if I'd like to take a major pay cut and move home. And I was like, well, darn, Dad, throw me a bone. But it was the best decision I ever made. I met my wife, and so, yeah, it ended up working out.
What briefly is your vision for Orange Beach in the future? You've been here a long time and you've seen it grow and change and evolve. What direction or where do you see it in like the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, I think it's important because if you look at the demographic of the city, I mean, we need, and it's easy, it's word salad to say, it's easy to say, that we need to take care of everybody, but we do, right? And it's because for the older community, the services that we have and the events and the programs. Again, we got some great folks doing that at the city, but I want to expand on that. And I want to hear from them. I'm almost there. I am 65. So tell me what I need to be asking for in a few years. But whatever that is, I want it to be open. For me, I think it's important. It's very important that citizens be involved in the government. And I tell you what, really, there was a time in my life, I didn't know if I would say that, but what's really made me believe it more today is when we have planning commission and we have a big item and we have 40 people show up, we have passion on each side, man, that's what I like to see in my community. Mm-hmm. So never feel like that your voice is too small, right? Show up, voice your opinion, and I hope you get heard.
Absolutely.
Right? I hope you get heard. I'll hear you.
Well, the election for our municipal candidates is on August 26th. If you're out there, please register to vote. You have a little bit of time left for that. Update your address, anything you need to update, and get out there and vote on August 26th. Mr. Stewart, thank you so much for coming by today.
Thank y'all. Pleasure, and really, this has been very enjoyable. Thank you very much.
Thank you.